Welcome back, everyone. This is Dirch, and during my sale video I put out yesterday, we were talking about the skill Steady as She Goes, and I was claiming that it might not be as bad as some people think. I've done some testing before, if, high levels of bar effects, Hyperion Guns that bad, and I concluded that it really didn't, so that's not a reason to not use bar. But, it's been claimed that this skill makes some guns terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot this wall here. Is that the best wall to shoot? I think there might be a better wall. Well, those round walls are the ones to shoot. Yeah, I'm just going to shoot that wall and see the recoil pattern on it. And I'm always going to have the Herald in the offhand. Why the Herald? Just to be consistent. I didn't want the drunk effect proccing with a grog. I didn't want to have a secondary Hyperion gun in there to affect anything if it can. I'm not sure if they can. So I'm going to kind of just stand right next to this dude and shoot the wall while gunzerking with and without Steady as She Goes with 4 different guns. The longbow, the interfacer, the lady fist, the bitch, maybe 5. Maybe I'll do the butcher as well. We'll see how it actually works with these guns and just kind of get this on record and see what it looks like. And I could have been wrong on this because I'm not the biggest saddle expert. So without, what was I going to say? So this is without Steady as She Goes. And we can see the bullet pattern there. I think we got a good look at that. Okay. Now I'm going to spec into Steady as She Goes. And then I'll cut out during the cooldown. Alright, now we're cooled down. And let's try this again. Kind of shooting the same spot, and again I'm not seeing a big difference. So just to show, I did that just to make it cool down faster, but I spec'd into Steady as She Goes, I gunzerked, and I did not see a big difference with the interfacer. I'll have to go back and rewatch it and see if I see more of a difference, but I didn't notice a big one shooting it. Now that that's actually kind of cooling down, let me go respec. And I'm going to do this kind of over and over again with some guns. So I do not have Steady as She Goes. I'm going to replace the interfacer with a lady fist. Stand up next to my buddy here. And I'm going to gunzerk. Oops. Should have aimed at that right spot. So this is without. Took a while to get on there in that first time, but you kind of maintain it between reloads. But it took, what, about 4 shots to get there? I'll let it kind of go out and just do it again. Because it should be the same as gunzerking. So yeah, it was on the 4th shot. And now I will spec into that. I didn't have to cut out this time because it's pretty much there already. I was only going to cut like 2 seconds, so I think we managed to wait this. With a bone in the cooldown, it's not too bad. Alright. So that was 6 shots, I think. So it was worse. But once you start firing, and with Sal you kind of keep firing, you maintain it, and it's pretty much the same. And you're going to kind of maintain that accuracy. Alright, so yeah, so 2 extra shots were kind of missed with the lady fist. And the lady fist is kind of one of the ones that isn't so great since it's based on a blue gun, not a purple. Let's switch to the butcher. Yeah. And See if I can just keep firing. Alright, assume the position. And Gunzerk. So it took about 2 shots to get in there without it. God, I love the Butcher. And aiming kind of right next to the stock of his gun to see how much it goes up. Okay. So now, with it, let's see how it acts. I'll be right back because this timer is a little... Nah, it's only a few seconds. We'll just see our buddy here. So I want to kind of keep aiming at that same spot just to the right of his stock to see how much it goes up. Because that might be part of it as well. Alright. I'm not seeing it. So definitely notice it on the Lady Fist for a few shots, but on this, I'm kind of shooting that same range. So far the interfacer and the Butcher, not really noticing it. In fact, you actually saw the accuracy go out a little bit when Gunzerking ended there. That's kind of weird. I'm going to do that again. So let's wait for this to come back, which is going to be a few seconds, and see on the right where the part of my aiming circle here is on that gun in Roland's hand. It actually got inwards a little bit. So it started off closer. That's kind of interesting. So now I'll let it rest and watch that again. Watch to the right where that circle is. When I go out of Gunzerking, it moves just so slightly. Alright, so let's respec again. And do another gun. And let's try the bitch now. So go say hi to my pal here. What's going on, buddy? And this is almost back in a couple of seconds, so no need to cut out. So I'll put that right at the bottom of the poster there. So about 3 shots. And the bitch is probably going to get affected about the least because it's the bitch and it's got some of the best, quickest reverse recoil in the game. And you see how fast that gets in there. So now I will go and add this in and try to get in the same spot right at the bottom there. And we'll see how this one acts, which again shouldn't be too different. Should have grabbed the legendary Gunzerker to increase my cooldown even further, but we're this far into it. I don't want to change anything at all. Consistency, yeah, that's the same. It was 3 shots. And you're all the way out there. Might be 4 shots, but let's see this. Yeah, that looks like the 3rd shot you're in there. So I'm not noticing it with the bitch. Let's switch to the longbow now. Alright, oops. Should probably respec. Okay. So action skill almost back. This one I'll go right at his elbow. And Gunzerk. Yeah. So longbow again, really small recoil on that. Pretty much there, pretty much instantly. I mean, the longbow is good for that, though. So now I will, as always, spec into steady as she goes. Hang out at the same spot, put that at the bottom of his elbow, and wait a few seconds for her cooldown to come back. And we'll see how the longbow acts. So with like white or green guns, maybe. But so far, like with your kind of premier ones, I haven't. The Lady Fist is the only one where I kind of noticed it. The longbow, I might notice it there. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, not really. That was just its normal accuracy being weird. So I haven't really noticed it on any of these guns at all. Now, again, if you're doing a pure Hyperion build, maybe, maybe I'll just buy that. I'll go see if there's another Hyperion gun in the other vendor. Maybe I can try this like crap gun, see if there's a difference with like low tier. But so far on the good guns, the Lady Fist, I noted about a shot difference, maybe 2. Whoops, that's not a gun vendor. Let's see. No Hyperion there. Okay. So let's try this white shotgun for the hell of it. My cooldown's back, I can go assume the position. Better do it without first, so respec one more time. And let's see here. Before we make any kind of conclusions, because this will be the argument. It's like, yeah, the good guns have better recoil, so it's not an issue with them. So I'm going to put this, kind of split the difference. God, fucking white guns are terrible. And this doesn't even get to max accuracy, like, at all. That thing is fucking bad. Okay. So, that was sadly without. Let's try with. Again, we'll kind of get this in roughly that same spot. See if it's any worse. And although, if you're doing like a white Hyperion build, that's something else. And I can see it being kind of bad on like maybe like a wild green SMG or something, but again, I don't know. Yeah, I noticed a difference there. It kind of kicked up higher, it seemed like, but it actually gets in closer better. So that's kind of interesting. Different than I expected. But I think moral of the story here is, if you're doing a pure Hyperion build, you can, skip it. But if you're just going to be swapping to an occasional Lady Fist or something, it doesn't make the guns, it doesn't make a big difference on the guns at all. So if it's going to improve your other guns hip firing, but you're worried about taking it because you're going to swap to the Interface or Lady Fist every now and then, I think you can still grab this skill. I didn't see anything there that made it seem unusable or unwieldy or make a massive negative difference in the Hyperion guns. Let me know if what you guys saw me shooting there seemed different, but I didn't notice it. And from all my testing I've done with high levels of bar with recoil and all these other things in Hyperion guns, I think it's more of that on paper thing. It makes it slightly worse, so it's shit, but in real gameplay, it doesn't really make a difference, so it's not that big of a deal. And there's a lot of that in Borderlands. People just kind of get something and stick to it without really testing it or knowing it or anything like that. So thanks again for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think about this. Did I do anything wrong in this testing? Everything was controlled, everything was consistent. Hopefully it was a good test, but I don't know. So again, phone going off like crazy. See you all later. Bye.